In case you've been living under a rock, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 4 just got announced, and I've been waiting 16 years for this. So I speak for all of us when I say that Bandai has got to put their best foot forward when making this game. Now I can't speak for everybody, but I grew up with these games, Budokai 1, 2, and 3, Budokai Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3, Raging Blast 1 and 2, and the other one. So I'm not kidding when I say I avidly love these games. That being said, they weren't perfect, and there are definitely some improvements and new additions that should be made to the game. So here are a few things that need to be in Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Crossplay. I'll tell you guys the truth, I'm honestly tired of console wars. That's a thing of the past, but something I'm not tired of is when companies add crossplay. That being said, crossplay is an essential feature that a lot of new gen titles have and especially need. I'd go as far to say is that a lot of people even purchase some games because they have crossplay. And I wouldn't say that's a bad thing either. A lot of people want to play with their friends, but when you mesh crossplay into it, it'll be 5 times easier to get things done, whether that be tournaments, online matches with your friends, and even more. But speaking about online matches, team battles. Some of you probably confused about what I'm talking about right now, but others probably typing in the comment section right now, but Zero, that they already had team matches in the other Budokai Tenkaichi games. Not the same team battles I'm referring to. I'm talking about a team of players versus a team of players. Imagine loading up a game and you guys want to play together and you have like 6 friends. So instead of just running 1v1v1, you just box. Complete and utter destruction of the other team. It'd kind of be similar to the fighter system where you'd be able to have 6 friends and play in one game. But more importantly, who wouldn't love a 3v3? Gigantic beam struggles with your friends yelling in your ear telling you to mash harder. You see, me personally, I'd never lose the beam struggle, and you can never prove me wrong. In fact, when the game comes out, I'm willing to have an open lobby session and fight everybody who shows up, which kind of sounds like something else I wanted to talk about. Raid battles.
Hey yo, the hell's a raid battle?
Fear not, young zoomer in the comments section. I have you. Raid battles are typically large-scale battles that are fought with a slightly overtuned character, and I say slightly lightly, against you and your friend, in which you all team up in order to defeat this character, or they finish you. Some people may say this idea is a stretch, but it couldn't be further from the truth. The Budokai series is already infamous, or famous however you take it, from giant characters they've already had in their previous games. Arudagarn, Grade 8 Baby, most of the same characters. Don't forget Dr. Wheelo too. What I'm getting at is that we already have a lot of large body characters that could be great bases for a raid battle. Mix it in with the addition of Red Protara characters. Let's see how many of you guys remember what those are. And it could definitely be a feasible game mode that can make it into the game. But that depends on how large the roster is this time around. With a massive selection of characters to pick from, you and your friends could be having an endless amount of fun. But it sounds probably hard to believe me, right? Well, there's already an example out there. May I introduce to the class Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. Well, kinda. You see, Battle of Z was a little bit ahead of its time. Before this, the Dragon Ball fanbase really didn't have any games on such a large scale as it, and you could consider it the start of the raid battles. The concept of the game was amazing, and if done correctly, it could make a fantastic game mode. But let's circle back real quick, because there's something I talked about that definitely needs to be in this game. The roster. The Budokai Tenkaichi series is infamous for having a very large roster from characters from Dragon Ball, from the movies all the way up to the end of the franchise considered in GT. But with Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Heroes, and even more movies, this roster has to be big. For a lot of people, I think part of the allure was how big the roster was. It started off as daunting, but there was so much more you could do and so many characters that you could pick. Mercenary Tao, Tambourine, General Blue. They even had Devilman in the game. Some of you don't even remember who Devilman is. You probably weren't even born yet. All of these characters are super obscure, but that's the fun. People love seeing these beloved characters come back to fight against characters that they would never ever meet, which even gives you more content and stuff like what if stories. Not to mention, it could be a major selling point for the game since a lot of people are already anticipating that the game will come with that. But you can never be too sure, so make sure to cross your fingers. But there's one last thing I want to go over. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Please let this game have a good lobby system. I'm talking hub worlds, hangouts, good connection most of all, to be honest. I don't even want to point any fingers, but you know who you are if you hopped online and your internet stinks. Now I know some of y'all can't help it, but oh my god, nobody wants to deal with the lag. And now it rests on the developers' hands to have a good netcode in this game. But netcode aside, a new lobby world is essential. Let me take some examples. The Street Fighter 6 beta happened not too long ago, but the hub world was massive. It was expansive, creative, and on top of that, you could just run around with your friends before you guys even play a game. Even the addition of arcade cabinets in it was very creative. Combined with some good lobby music, oh my god, you have a recipe for greatness. Or you could just stare at some PNGs of your character until the game starts. But who am I to tell the developers what to do? We haven't seen any gameplay, no footage, no anything yet. So everything's up in the air. We don't know what's gonna happen, but it's not too early to dream. But I think we'll all be happy if it's nothing like the one that shall not be named. But they would never make that mistake again, right? Right? But until then, I'll be waiting right here for more news and content related to the game. And so can you by pressing subscribe and turning on the post notification for whenever I make an update. But don't be surprised when I invite you to a lobby to run the once, because I surely don't forget. Anybody can get hands, whether it be your mother, your grandfather, anybody. You're all getting put on stretchers as long as I deem it, because I am the alpha.